Well, I think Gore Vidal said it best. This is the United States of amnesia.
It's a United States of stupidity. I mean, when I say to you that I believe we're barbarians, it's because we're out there murdering people right now. We're not going to get out of Afghanistan. The Russians couldn't get out of Afghanistan. They had to leave. When they left, the dope dealers come back because they have those great little poppies over there that Majestic likes because they make cash out of it. They can keep their machine going out in the desert.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's an interesting question. Where does the funding come from, MJ Schwab? Is it part of the black budget?
My information is that the black budget ain't that big, okay? And they have spent, I was told that they had, that when we decided to take over and run the Russians out of Afghanistan, it's because Majestic wanted the poppy fields. And that when we got stuck in Vietnam, it's because Majestic wanted the poppy fields. And then when we got stuck up down in Colombia, it's because Majestic wanted the cocoa fields. And that most of that money goes through one means or another back into the mountains, and that they've used it to suppress the research of anti-gravity by giving the University of Beijing, at the height of the Cold War, $5 million for a study on fruit fly mating habits. And the agreement being a quid pro quo was your physics department will not waste its money on gravity. And they suppressed everything like mad from the 50s until just very recently on gravity. And about $100 billion went out through cover companies of foundations and charities in Switzerland and Liechtenstein and Luxembourg, paid out these monies to all these universities not to do gravity research. So they suppressed gravity research since the mid-50s, and they continue to suppress it. If there's any money given for a gravity research project, it's going to be given to me, because we've got an RFP, request for proposal, in for it right now. And we're doing a movie that says, here, Mr. President, and you got a problem, and here's the problem, and if you don't address the problem, we're going to sell this movie.
Well, this is an interesting juncture that you've told us about, this book that you've come up with through your research.
I've been offered $300,000 for the book, and it ain't for sale.
In your library. I'm wondering, though, because this is an interesting part. There are some books in the UFO library and the UFO field that are quite detailed, but a lot of them, I dare say most of them, are contactee or abductee related. How much of that, of the abduction or contact experience, was helpful or influential in you deriving at your final theory?
The only thing that they ever say that has got hell of a relevance is the issue of time, because time they don't leave evidence. The only thing they leave is impressions in the memories of the people. And they are witnesses, like you would take 12 jurors. Well, they're competent people, and people get up there and they swear Allah, and, you know, and they tell their tale, and we believe them. So why wouldn't we believe 70,000 structured intelligence reports put into the UFO literature? Because that's about how many there are, but 70,000. So if I'm not going to believe 70,000 people all telling me the same tale, I got to be dumb. So what I'm telling you is that is what I found was extremely valuable, was the reports of the witnesses. Because if we can't get the science, let's at least get what they saw.
Did you ever aggressively go after people who have a story to tell about their contact experience?
Yeah, I date a couple of them.
That's aggressive.
Yeah,
seriously, we'll go back to this book. You actually were able to collect a team. Tell us about this team you assembled. I mean, I'm sure there'd be names that we'd recognize.
Yeah, I mean, they were this very famous physicist and chemist. And
like, who are we talking about?
Hal Puthoff.
Hal Puthoff, right.
One. And David Froning, was a guy who invented the anti-missile missile. And
Burt Rutan?
He used to be friendly, and Burt and I had a falling out.
Oh, dear. John Alexander?
Yeah, but John is into UFO, but he's not into the physics or the engineering of it.
Aren't some of these people also on the Advanced Theoretical Physics Working Group?
Yeah.
You're part of that as well, yeah?
Yeah. They say I'm part of Aquarius, and I mean, the undercover thing, you know.
What do you mean? I don't.
Is it Aquarius? Is it the Avery? Yeah, I supposedly founded the Avery, which is a lie.
So tell me about this advanced theoretical physics working group. What do they do primarily?
They all hypothesize.
Are they a think tank?
Yeah, but they don't go about it in I like most of them. They're very interesting people, but they're theoretical. I'm not into theoretical. I'm into cut and bend. You know, if you can't cut and bend the symbol and test, you're really just
It sounds like, well, they've been around for a good
so.
number of years. Have they produced any interesting papers? Or
They produce papers all the time. I mean, I got 100 pounds of them or 200 pounds of them, but they don't produce hardware. I mean,
now, when I ask you about papers, I guess let me refine that question a little bit. Do they have any papers that relate to the UFO propulsion technology?
Yeah, but nothing I've ever seen that gets to the nitty-gritty. The only thing I've ever seen was the circuit itself. It's a circuit. It's a big, very high voltage electrical circuit.
That they have put forward? Or
well, Uncle copied it off the crashes in Corona and Roswell and Spitzenberg.
No, when you say circuit, was that something that the physics group put forward? Was that something the physics group put forward, the circuit?
No, the circuit was put forward by the guy who got in the hangar and saw it that I told you about.
Okay.
That's the circuit.
My question was, the physics group, what have they put forward related to?
Nothing. I mean, what you're talking about doesn't seem to have any relevancy to me.
Well, aren't you part of the group?
No big deal.
The group's not a big deal, or your involvement in it isn't?
Yeah, I mean, my involvement is that I got my own theory. Everybody's got their own theory. It's one of the problems in the physics business is there's an NIH factor, not invented here, and a lot of them have it.
So you're not really an active member or participant in that group anymore?
No, not really.
Okay. So when you were, what was your role? Were you in the scientific side, the theoretical side?
I don't even know. You know, I mean, if you said who these people are, I don't know. I mean, you're talking about people that I know of, and I know the situation, but I don't go to their meetings, and I don't go out of my way to. I mean, they come to my meetings. I hold a conference about 3 times a year, and in fact, I got one tomorrow. So we're in the cut and bend. And as a result, we're in the defend and cut and bend.
And let's bring up a couple examples of that. You shared with me some of your work, some of this book that you put together that we were just talking about. And I have some slides that I can show you that Gordon has agreed to show. This is just an example, but let's move first to this graph that shows the different wavelengths that some of these UFOs exhibit, ultraviolet, blue, green, yellow. Tell us what we're looking at here.
You're looking at high voltage. It's specific levels of high voltage electrostatic field. Air will change to color. It'll glow like a heliarc torch.
Okay.
Okay, so they're very bright because you're ionizing the air, and you can get all these cute colors. As high voltages, between 1 and 3 million volts.
Are you suggesting that some of these UFOs that are exhibiting these colors can be tracked as far as how much energy they're putting out by the changing or by the color?
Yeah, you can pretty much tell how much energy they're putting out, and you can tell pretty much what voltage level that they're operating at. And you can reverse that back to joules and figure joules down to horsepower if you want, and figure out what's there.
Now, you also talked about cut and bend. Now, you're actually trying to build a working prototype, and this is some of the sort of back engineering you've done with the classic Adamski UFO, just as an example. If you take a look at this this next slide, what we see is a sort of a wireframe image. Tell us about what this and how this is used during the engineering process.
Well, show me the picture.
It's up there now, right there.
Well, that's not a wireframe image. That's a CAD/CAM drawing. That's
Tell us how that's used
computer, in effect, they segment it. That's called CAD/CAMing. There's no wireframe there. That's just the lines that illustrate the shape of the bird that are done on the computer in order to be able to measure the segments.
And what's
You're looking at the bottom. That's CAD/CAM again. That's computer-aided manufacturing. That's CAD/CAM, computer-aided design, computer-aided manufacturing. That's CAD/CAM pictures.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to explain is that this is one of the first steps you take during the engineering process.
Yeah. It's a good way to start.
Right. And how far along have you gotten?
We're at the point of assembling the damn thing. We're actually assembling it.
So we're using this kind of as an example. When you say at the point, do you have what's holding you back? Is it just a matter of funding?
Oh yeah, well money's right tight lately, haven't you? You haven't noticed? It's rather tight out there.
Especially when you're asking to make a UFO.
Well, see, we call our rig in effect the